Chapter 23, switching to sales. So far we've focused on counting and entering invoices, and those are sort of the core basic skills. And all of those things are to do with calculating how much of every product was used. I know you understand this at this point, but just to go through it again, to calculate how much Jack Daniels was used during the audit period, we need to know three things. Just to say these are three of our four things that we started this series with. So we need to know how much Jack Daniels they had at the start of the period. We call that the previous count. We need to know how much Jack Daniels they currently have. That's the current count. And they need to know how much Jack was delivered during the period, which is quantity delivered or quantity invoiced. And then, like that Budweiser bottle I used earlier, to calculate what was used, we simply take the difference between the previous count and the current count. And add what was delivered. So using that example from an earlier chapter, I said that if we had 100 bottles of Budweiser at the start of the week and 50 at the end of the week, that means that's the previous count is 100, current count is 50. Take the difference of those two, you get 50, and they've used 50, and then you have to plus the amount delivered or invoiced, one case of 24, so the total number consumed is 74. Obviously a little bit different for liquor and draft beer because we're not doing the whole bottles, but essentially the point is the same. We work out how many bottles we had at the start of the week, how many at the end, how many delivered, etc. So in order to compare what was used with the precise amount, so all those three things tell us what we've used, but the point of our business is to compare usage to sales. So in order to compare what was used with the precise amount that was sold, we need to have a detailed record of sales. And just to say, this is a key area of value add for Bar-I. The reason being that it's pretty easy to figure out how much product you've used by doing the calculation with those three things we just explained. But precisely how much of every product was sold typically requires some interpretation of a basic point of sale report, which is produced by most systems. And just conceptually, this is where we depart from the concept of looking at liquor inventory to calculate simply liquor cost, and we can start looking deeper into performance. So when you calculate liquor cost, you tend to aggregate or combine many different products into one liquor cost, and it means you lack the granularity to see what's going on. With our system, in addition to doing those liquor cost calculations, we're actually calculating usage on a per product basis. So for instance, we say we've used 74 bottles of Budweiser, and then how many did we sell? Hopefully we sold 74, but in many cases we'll have sold 60, for instance, and 14 will have slipped through the cracks, forgotten to be rung in. And up until now, we've been dealing with the C tool, the data collection half of the software. The R half of the software is where we actually account for sales through the recipes module and pasting in the point of sale report. And this enables us, to compare what was sold with actually used. So as said, data collection, the counting, invoicing, pricing is all handled in the C tool. When we're trying to integrate sales and compare and calculate sales with usage, that's all done in the R tool. And so we're going to switch over to that now. Next up, we'll look in more detail about how we account for those sales.